Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Excel basis. We've been talking about the introductory part of Excel. We've talked about cell reference and talked about the three types of cell reference, which are absolute, relative, and mixed. We also talked about formatting our cells in Microsoft Excel. So today we are going to look at the parts or components of a formula. So the components of a formula are four. Number one, we have functions. Two, we have references. Three, we have constants. Four, we have operators. Now, it is not compulsory that in every formula in Microsoft Excel, all of these four parts will be included. But for you to have one or two of these parts, it shows that it is a formula. Like I've earlier said, if you want to introduce a formula, you always start with what? An equal to sign, which tells Microsoft Excel that you want to do a calculation. Now, what is a function? Functions are predefined formulas that perform calculations by using specific values called arguments in a particular order or structure. Functions can be used to perform simple or complex calculations. You can find all of Excel's function on the Formulas tab on the ribbon. Now, your function helps you to calculate things that ordinarily you would have done manually. Once you reference the cells, it will just do it automatically for you. So just like we've read here, if you want to find any function, come under the Formulas tab. In this Formulas tab, you have insert a function here, and I'll get to that. Let's look at all of this here. In the function tab, there are many functions, and each of these functions are categorized into different categories. We have the financial. Under the financial, if you click on this inverted triangle here, you see so many functions there according to what you want. So for you to be able to use a particular function, you should be able to know what the function is used for. We have logical, which we have and, false, if error, and so on and so forth. Under text, we have different categories, different functions here. You can see them here. Scroll down. Under date, if what you want to do your calculation is date and time, you use all of this here. And then if it is lookup, you can use any of this here. Under math and trigonometry, you have so many functions here for you to use. And if you need more, you can click on more functions. You click on statistical, you see many functions. You can always scroll this to see the end of it. There are so many here. So there are so many things you do manually on paper that you just need to use just a function to know what it is there to get result, instant result. We have engineering here. You can scroll downwards to see take you to the end. Each of these functions have their uses here. Under cube, you have this. Under information, you have so many. You can come over here and scroll down to whatever you want. Compatibility, we have web. Now, those are the categories. In case you are not satisfied with that and you don't know the name of the function you are looking for, you can come under insert function. Just put a brief description of what you want. How to calculate loan. Let's see. That's true. So if what you've typed is not identified in the system, they'll ask you to refresh. Let me just put loan alone. But You can see it now. We have comprises, we have PMT, and we have rate. So once you've selected that, you can see rate here. It tells you, it gives you a brief description. So returns the interest rate per period of a loan or investment. For example, use 6%/4 for quarterly payments at 6% APR. So inside of it, you will see rate. You see all the things that you need to impute for that function or formula to be complete. So you can always click OK to select the number of cells you want to work with. So that's that. Other things other elements we'll discuss about them as time goes on. Now, the next one is reference. Reference help you to look up the value of a particular cell. It helps to bring the value of a particular cell for calculation. So we have A1, example A1, A2, A1 to A6. So if you look up here, just like we've discussed, this one is a function, this one is a reference. So inside this formula, we have two parts. Number one, we have sum. Number two, we have reference, which is a relative cell reference. You can see from C5 to C9. So that's a reference. This is a relative cell reference. I won't talk so much on reference because I had made several videos on cell reference. I hope that's understood. Let's go over to the next one. The next one is constants. Constants are numbers or text that we impute directly into our formula. When you impute your text or numbers directly into your formula, they are called constants. Let's look at this, for instance. If you look at this formula, you will see 2. 2 is a constant here. And now the problem with constant is that whenever you want to make changes, you don't go to this, you don't go to change the cell because the cell does not contain that value. And so it will not affect your result. So you have to always go back to that formula to change that constant. Let's look at this absolute cell reference here. If you look at this absolute cell reference, we talk about 40% here. If I change this 40 to 20% and press enter, you will see that everything here under the commission changes accordingly because I am referencing this cell. So whenever this cell changes, every other thing here will change. Let's do it one more time. 10%, you can see everything will change. But what if in this formula, instead of referencing this cell D18 and locking it, I just put 10%. When I put 10%, everything here will not change. If I want to change it, it's no longer 10%, I want to change it to 20%. I'll have to still come back here and change it to 10%. Come back here and change it to 10% or 20% or whatever it is. So it's always advisable to do something like this. If you want a constant, it is better to put that number or text that you want as a constant in a particular cell, reference that cell, and make it an absolute cell reference. I hope that's clear enough for you to understand. In a cell, in a formula, we also have operators. Operators, we have asterisk, which is used to multiply. We have minus, which is used to subtract. We have the plus sign, which is used to add, and the caret sign, which is for indices or to make a particular number or formula raised to power. So if you look, let's come back to this formula here and look at what is there. If you look at this formula, the pi here is a function. The asterisk here is an operator. The caret sign here is what? An operator. So those are the parts of a formula. So remember, like I said earlier, your formula must not contain all these four parts, but at least they must contain one or two of these parts. I'll see you in the next video and stay blessed.